Good, good morning from New York. Yeah, today we're going to take a look at the lack of empathy being a threat to democracy, and seems to be the hallmark of Trump and his MAGA supporters. I'm David Mitch Sotelo, your personal political mystic. Understanding IMC is empathetic. It reaches into all social concerns, even politics. Evidence: Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Krishna, Jesus, Buddha, Nelson Mandela, all visionaries, socially and politically concerned, and democratic in supporting the importance of the individual. You can't have democracy without that. So, IMC philosophy is a journey that a mystic takes one way or another. This form of it, as a form of practice, can be turned into a kind of therapy or a training or an individual practice. It does support the importance of the individual. And so, get the glare out of your eyes here. Let's talk about this. First of all, how empathetic is it to say America first? Yeah, practical terms, take care of your own concerns, thinking you can reach out and help the world, perhaps. But have you ever heard of wounded healers? Sometimes, and every time, we have to reach out and help others. And putting America first doesn't have to mean putting everybody else last. It's not a zero-sum game. You can put it first in terms of an example for the world to follow. But if you're not compassionate, how are you first among nations? Trump is not pushing for compassion. The first thing he wants to do when he gets back into office is punish those who were against him. Punishing attitude is part of the illness that's common. It doesn't make you a great soul. With malice toward none, said Abraham Lincoln. After the terrible and great Civil War, in which we stood up for virtue against those that would destroy our government. And there was mercy afterwards. And an inclusion back into the family. And we grew from there. What is a mystic? Why are all these people mystics? Because they're about empathy. objective, creative, and compassionate empathy. Let's go on to taking a look at Trump and his MAGA supporters. Now, you don't have to be a supporter of Trump when you have the realization of these empathies and begin the journey of a mystic, political, socially concerned one, as all mystics were and are. But let's look at the belief structure and the direction of MAGA. Well, first of all, it's not very compassionate, is it? And there's, it's some people are going to poison the blood of those who are already here in the United States who are not immigrants, but who came from immigrants. That isn't compassionate. And it's kind of cruel and it's punishing. Forgive those who, may we forgive those who sin against us. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the Lord's Prayer right. Yeah, am I like Trump in the Bible? No, hopefully not. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Yeah? Does that sound like a punishing attitude? Do good to those who treat well those who despitefully use you. Come on. That's compassion. And Trump clearly isn't compassionate. Okay, neither is the push inside the MAGAs, who were all about fearing something and attacking and punishing. And that's not compassionate. That's not the real America. That's not the real United States of America. It's not the democracy of Europe. It's not the democracy of Canada. It's just not right. And it's not the democracy of Mexico either. Anyway, it's about compassion. And they are not compassionate. How can you be democratic, valuing each individual, not be compassionate toward all? Malice toward none. Now, what's the other test? Creative empathy. Well, looking at things from a number of different perspectives, you would think that might include, when you're talking about immigrants, that you realize that we're all immigrants. If you're looking at immigrants coming after someone else, well, the first one who set foot in North America had a lot of people following them. Were they all immigrants? In a way, yeah. Yeah. Can we come into your land? In Judaism. I forgot to mention Moses. Yeah, it's a big mess, isn't it? Sorry about that. And, the Bible, again, teaches us to be kind to those, um, to strangers, to people who are not of your nation who come in. Were you not, as estranged? Were you not strangers, in a strange land once? So, yes, we're all. An objective view means, you have to see that everybody's an immigrant all around the world, depending on how far you want to stretch that. But, so, we're all family. We're one. As Martin Luther King Jr. mentioned, all of the children sit down together. Yeah, that's inclusive. That's compassion. So we're seeing a vision that is not the vision of our Statue of Liberty, not the vision of America. The vision of America first, right? Might be a slogan. American vision first. It's visionaries. All of these folks are visionaries. They look toward the future with hope. And when you have objective empathy, it's, a help, to move into the future, into a better future. That's why you think, make the next things better. All right. So how are they objective? Do they show objective empathy? No. First of all, empathy includes everyone. And are they objective in their thinking? Well, they're against science. That's where objectivity has led us to great advances in science. People run around with cell phones in their hands, things created by, actually, couldn't have been created without physicists. And engineers. That's the use of objectivity and using it compassionately. That's objective. It doesn't mean running around with a cell phone all the time. And looking at it, especially when you're crossing the street or driving. But yeah, this objectivity seems to be lacking. Objectively, let's look at the whole Republican Party, who wants to give more money to the wealthy, to the very top. Well, listen to Robert Reich. He's actually another political mistake. There's so many, and I would have a very long list. But Robert Reich understands the economy. You invest in the middle class, and they're going to spend that money. They're going to keep the engine of the economy going well, and in that sense of peaceful comfort people give, and that supports the very poor too. Also, capitalism, when it's functioning well, lowers the price of things. So it gets it more into the hands of um, than anything else that we've found. So are they objective? No, they're not. The whole party following Trump is now, to their shame, not objective at all. Disrespecting science. Running around with a cell phone and disrespecting science. Going to the hospital with disrespecting science. And what do they think objectively about our FBI and our CIA, who defend democracy? People, they're up to no good. There is a faith in people that is involved with empathy. There's a faith that in general human beings act for the benefit of themselves if they're more reflective. And in a democracy, that spirit is present. This includes everyone. And calls everybody friend. There may be some wayward friends in the world. We approach them with compassion until they start attacking the jugular of the democratic purpose and existence. That has to be stood up against. And so we have to stand up against MAGA, Trump, or lose our country. That isn't a way to run things. A dictatorship's not a way to run things. Who ever heard of giving a dictator a little so that they'll be satisfied and stop? Didn't we try that with Hitler? And had we jumped in and stopped him, then it would have been easier. But at so many points at which we could have stopped him. Infuriatingly, even after Poland, their military wasn't as good as the French. And they were invading through the Ardennes. Creative empathy, huh? Well, you got to care about what's going on. A little empathy. And empathy helps us to understand the motivations of the good and the evil inclinations of people. And objectively studying the situation. Now, had they put themselves empathetically into the position of the Germans, they would have thought about things more carefully and considered a push through the Ardennes. Just to be sure, they would have people out watching. Well, they did do that, but then they didn't have enough respect for the people they sent out to do that job. Listen to them. They're coming. We see troop movements in the Ardennes. Ignored. They came in, their supply lines were too stretched. We had an opportunity to stop them after the Ardennes. Didn't happen. So appeasing a dictator. Why am I bringing that up? Trump says he will be a dictator on day one. if he were president. And he would be punishing all of those people that he saw as enemies. That is not the American spirit. That is something we have to fight against. Period. We can do it peacefully, yes. Yeah. Be at peace, but carry a big stick. There's nothing punishing about defending democracy for yourself. That's not a punishing attitude, by the way. It doesn't take much thought to realize that. So, what have we covered? Their empathy is key to democracy. It is at the heart and soul of visionary mystics. And there are really great minds who have represented them. Democracy means understanding and being compassionate toward the individual. And we can't make this defense without having some compassion for MAGA and Trump. They are, as Jesus would say, sick. They need a physician. But when the sick are trying to take over the government, get out and vote. Stop it. If it's something that you've been convinced of, but you haven't considered these things, change your direction. Stop supporting this. Oh, geez. Trump is fallible, just like me. Yeah, that's true of everyone. But what does he stand for? I don't really care for the idea of paying for hookers, which he did. He's just like Jesus. You heard his supporters say, he's just like Jesus. Really? Jesus paid for hookers. Did Jesus threatened to punish all those who were against him? Yeah. No, he didn't really. No. Not in his, the words attributed to him. Please, wake up. So, not objectively empathetic, not creatively empathetic, not compassionately empathetic. Okay, let's go back to creative empathy. The ability to see things from more than one perspective. You'll find constantly with people who are brainwashed and following along with a strong leader that they can't consider that they might be wrong. Hear me? They can't argue from the other side. Ask them to do so. To do so, they're persuadable. If they can't, then okay. Right. But you don't let the spiritually ill, those without the spirit of America, run America. Attacking the CIA and the FBI, who are brave souls trying to protect America. Not protecting secrets that the country needs to have. It's war against anti-democratic forces below. These are people with high IQs. Right. Now, who are you going to trust? You see the confusion of Trump when he's speaking. You see the hatefulness. You see the lack of critical thinking, the lack of the ability to observe things from more than one perspective, the need to punish, and the self-aggrandizement. Tell me, it's Martin Luther King Jr. into self-aggrandizing. He tried to get people to see him as the leader. No. Nelson Mandela, no. Robert Reich, no. None of that. It's laughable to think about it. It's Mahatma Gandhi, no. It wasn't. He wasn't into people, kowtowing to him, not at all. They lifted up the individual. And I'm sure they would lift up the spirit of America, the United States, if they were citizens here. They would be encouraging us if they weren't. So we need to have more empathy in the world. Empathy is key. These empathies, which are what a mystic is all about, and well, what can I say? The Republican Party is not the party of Lincoln. Listen to the Lincoln Project. YouTube. And there's some great guys trying to bring us back to this sanity. And so, yeah, they are Republican. So that's that. Yeah, just a little too far. So you look at Joe. Joe's a communicator. You understand? Joe is a communicator. He is an empathetic communicator. And guess what? The economy is roaring. It's roaring up. It's just is that a phrase? It's going really well, and everything's turning around. It's going in the right direction. It's also trying to save the planet. How about empathy? What about empathy for the future generations and respect for science, which is telling us that we don't act the world very bad to our children's children? Really? Again, lack of empathy. And how dare you say you're a follower of any of these great mystics and you don't love America? You don't care to help it to grow and realize its dream inside the country or out. What about love is America? That is the vision of America. Somewhere in there, there's a phrase. Come up with some. Put them in the comments down below. What phrase should we be using marching into the next election? What do you think? What is your idea to make things better for America, the United States here? What's your ideas? Put them in the comments. Okay? Disagree with me. Make a statement in the comments. We must respect all perspectives. But if it's just a hateful, just something that you haven't really thought about well yourself, I'd consider improving your comment. Yeah, but go ahead anyway. Yeah, and share the video. We get the word out about this. Share the video. Like the video. And if you stand united with me, importance of empathy in the world, subscribe. Please. The world will be a brighter place because of you. Or it will be a darker place because of you, and it's up to you. Do the right thing. Vote. Make sure that your candidates understand the real vision of America. Okay? And the importance of love. So, what I would like you to do, so you do it. If you're making videos, make those videos now. You have similar things to say, get it out there. We're in a fight for democracy. We're in a fight for the soul and the spirit of love. The only thing in the end that will save us all. Future generations. As I like to say at the end of my comments, namaste. Why? Because it means that I would like to honor from the flow and love in me. I would like to honor that same in you. From that place in which I am one with all humanity, all world, the universe. I'd like to honor that same in you. Namaste. And have a good day, y'all.